Hi guys, thank you for clicking that button. Welcome if you're new here. Subscribe down below, it's somewhere here. Click on the notification bell so that anytime we upload a video, you are the first one to be notified. This is a channel focusing purely on health issues. You see what I'm holding today. We are going to focus on our eyes, ophthalmology. As I promised, we are going to have a consultant talking about all these eye issues. What is it you want to know? What specialty do you want us to invite in this platform? I want to welcome each one of you. Kindly call a friend, share, let's learn. Students who want to do medicine or another career in medicine, kindly, this is the platform to be. Parents who want to guide the children on whatever thing they want to do in medicine, this is the platform to be. Colleagues who want to enrich themselves and identify the areas they want to specialize in, this is the place to be. And I want to usher in a very special friend, colleague, and a specialist in this area of medicine. He has hacked his game. He's so good in whatever he does. One or two of you have met him before, and we're so privileged to have our very senior consultant in ophthalmology, and this time I want to give him a chance to introduce himself. Karibu sana.
Asante sana. I am Dr. Daniel Mondia, an ophthalmologist or eye specialist.
What is an ophthalmologist? What does he do?
Ophthalmologist is a doctor who has specialized in eyes. So our work is just to treat eyes. So a specialist in eye is called ophthalmologist. So first we go through the whole routine training of doctors, then you subspecialize in ophthalmology.
Alright, guys, you heard that. An ophthalmologist is a doctor. First of all, he trains as a doctor, then they go further, gets a training on ophthalmology, that is study of eyes and eye illnesses and management of eye illnesses, right?
That's right.
Dr. Mundia, where did you grow up?
Good question. Of course, I grew up as a village boy in Molo.
You don't look village.
I'm very village, from Molo. I grew up like any other child who just wanted to do the next thing in their life. So I walked to school, barefoot. So those are the days, yes. So my school was about 2 kilometers away, and I used to run to school and home back.
Did you have anybody in your family who was a doctor?
No. I have not even... when I was growing, the only doctors that I saw were the ones in the health clinic, whom I feared because they used to have internal.
Okay, so now, when did you know that you wanted to do medicine?
Later. I went through the system where we went through Form 5 and 6. And even when I was going to Form 5, I still thought of doing engineering. So it was a bit mingled. So
Engineer turned doctor.
Yeah, when I finished Form 4, I chose to do subjects that would lead me into doing engineering. But the school I was called me to do subjects that were biological oriented. And even when I went to Form 5, I still wanted to go back to the engineering class, but they refused. So I went through the biological sciences, and eventually then I said, okay, what can I make out of these biological sciences? And that's how I started juggling with choices.
It was like an afterthought.
It's not an afterthought, it's just that I found myself doing subjects that were oriented to that. It was the best out of the best in that
Okay,
field.
You hear guys, when we are talking about mentoring people and careers, this is what we mean.
I think my life was one step at a time.
At a time. Only that nowadays, when we take one step at a time, we get disoriented. By the time you know what you want to do, you are in campus. Then you are so in a wrong career that it takes you the next 10 years to shape where you want to be. Imagine you were to do journalism, then you find yourself in biological sciences. It could have been a total mess.
Yes.
So which schools were you studying in?
Oh, I went to a primary school called Mukinyei. It's a very low-cost private school.
Where is Mukinyei? Which county?
And it's in Molo. And then I went to Molo Secondary School. And after that, I went to the neighboring sub-location called Njoro. So I went to Njoro High School, and that was a good school that time.
Finally, you passed. You got an admission to the university, one of the university in Kenya. Which one?
I was admitted to University of Nairobi. And something interesting happened. I told you when I found myself into the biological sciences, I had to think through what would I make out of these subjects. And in my village, the only person who ever got to a university and did something was a veterinary doctor. So I was settled for veterinary doctor. And thinking about medicine was a bit scary. I knew I could do it, but it was a bit like, do I want to do that? And then my choices, I said, okay, first choice, veterinary sciences. Second choice, medicine. Third choice, agriculture. These are the biological sciences. And of course, I was not admitted into veterinary medicine.
Because
of course, I think it was just the way you fall off in what first choice. Then, of course, medicine, surely, how would I be taken as a second choice? So I missed that too. So actually, I was admitted to do agriculture.
What? Okay, what is this about? What is agriculture?
Agriculture was my third choice.
So what does an agriculture do?
An agriculture is a person who learns about plants and grows, and then I found myself into agriculture. And the first 2 weeks of my university, I did agriculture. Cutting stems and running and all those things. And I found that this is not where I would.
It's not doing it.
So there was an opening, and we were told, now you can change courses. It was very easy, and so I chose to go.
Just to bring the viewers onto the story who don't know, like myself, I didn't know what an agriculture. Do we have that course to date? Maybe we have.
Agriculture is a big course, of course.
What do they do? Agriculture extension officers, those people?
Those are, I think, diploma guys. That you see agriculture. If you go to Kabete campus, that's where agriculture is done. I didn't go deep into it, but I know they are now professors. My classmates are now professors in agriculture.
Wow. Guys, there are so many careers. There are so many careers, you really can't exhaust all of them. Now we are having Ian. Did I tell you he's a subspecialist? Even on top of ophthalmology, he went further to specialize on something. Tell us something small about your life in campus.
Well, I went into medicine. It was not a bed of roses.
Definitely.
I remember the first time I entered the lab, the anatomy class. I met a Professor Kimani who asked me, where you can, that's 2 weeks now, after the others. And he asked me, what have you changed from agriculture? And what are you coming to do in medicine, to learn? I tell you, if you're coming here for money, please go back.
Wow.
Medicine is not for money, medicine is for those who work for people.
Medicine is not for money. Repeat after me. Medicine is not for money, but for?
Serving people.
For serving people. So if you're going to pursue medicine because you are seeing people are making money, by the way, the higher you go, the tough it becomes. Ask Dr. Mundia.
Yes. So I entered this class, and it was all, I think my first year was kind of a dream. You are in class, from class, you are back to the, and you couldn't have time for yourself. It is such an intensive training.
That's true.
And that's, I remember those words of Professor Kimani, because if you wait for anything else other than learning and getting it, you will quit.
That's true.
In the first month of...
I raise my hand and I say it is very true.
You will quit.
If you are not ready to work hard, I mean work hard, no social life. Have I said a lie?
No.
No social life. You go to study, then come back, see life. Let's continue.
Yes, so I went through that, and I was not the top cream. I was average, because in medicine I think the only thing is, please God, let me get 50 plus. 50,
I've had that
50% 0.5, because I want to go to the next class.
I've really had that severally.
Yes,
Give me a 50.
Yeah, a 50. Just give me a 50, not 60, not 70. Of course, there are people who get
70s and 80s.
But most times, even those who got 70, maybe I got 70s and 80s sometimes. But my prayer will be
Let me
50%.
pass. Let me pass. But at the end of the day, Doc, you have the knowledge.
Yes.
It's not about passing exam. It's about getting the knowledge.
Yes.
Or else medicine is so practical. Isn't
Well,
it?
first 2 years is a lot of reading, a lot of passing. But now we come to third year, where now is practical. And you see now, oh, when I see a case, a patient, I treat, I interact with the patient, I even understand the
What you are
subject matter.
learning. True.
So it becomes now more enjoyable.
True.
And now you sell from third year to fifth year now. You find yourself. You know, okay, I'm doing medicine, and medicine is about this. It's about chemistry, a lot of chemistry.
It's not about microbiology.
It's about something called practical and interacting with people and treatment.
Wow. I told them that in my nursing training, you know, all the 3 years you're in class for 9 months. Only. When you're in class, you can't relate at the endocrinal diseases. You do study, you wonder how they appear. Go to the practical, you relate so well. So well. So if you don't have the knowledge of the books, you can't do it.
You can't do it.
You can't hack it.
And you feel the urge to run back to the books when you have seen a patient, you have treated halfway, you are stuck, and you feel like you can run back to the library. That's now the reading, the library reading becomes more enjoyable because it's targeted.
It's real.
Yeah, it's real.
I keep on telling students who want to do anything in medical line that when you're in school, you don't realize time passing by. By the time you open your eyes, you're in fifth year. Yes. You don't know what was taking place, what you are doing. You're in fifth year doing your finals.
We used to call them internal medicine, surgery, obstetrics, and pediatrics.
But we have some minor, like they are not core, but they are not, they can't be ignored.
Like, you see, anything, if you think of any other discipline, you will be able to categorize under those ones. If it is like ophthalmology, is under surgery. ENT is under surgery. Dental is under surgery. If you go to other disciplines like endocrinology, that is under medicine. So
that's true.
Those are the big, broad disciplines, but everything else comes as a sub-specialist or sub-discipline under those.
Tell us what you loved most in your med school.
Subject or
no,
life?
Life.
I think I think it's
not that boring.
Yeah, it's not that boring. And let me tell you why I'm laughing. It's because medical students create a life of their own and a language of their own, nicknames of their own. We would nickname every teacher, every student, and with names of diseases. It was such a, and that one gives you a good feeling about it. Although
from the hard work of class.
Yeah, when you now interact and you call yourselves, or you call each other names, or you call a teacher hydrocephalus. So even when we meet later now as doctors, when we meet our colleagues, you even start smiling at him because you remember that guy who was called
hydrocephalus.
Such a funny name.
Hydrocephalus is big head. Okay, it's a condition
with a big head.
With a big head. Oh. Yeah. No, it's a condition that there is no drainage of CSF fluid. It's a disease.
It's a disease process.
Yes.
But when you are calling your student mate hydrocephalus, either he's a big head or he must be having a character. He's a character. It's a character, anyway.
No, sorry for the parents and the siblings and every single person with the condition. It's not bad intended. It's just for remembrance issues, isn't it?
Yes, and that's how, again, even if you are nicknaming each other, you are mastering the
issues. That's
how medical students master their subjects. You recall by relating that name or that word with something, so that It's called mnemonic, so there's a way of remembering.
Just a way to remember.
Yeah.
Just a way to remember.
Yeah.
What was
So
boring in med school?
Reading. And getting
exams.
scared that every time I'm going to repeat.
Wow. And it happens.
And
For sure it happens.
the other thing is about, in medical school, whenever you read a subject, as a medical school, you think, as a medical student, you think, do I have that disease?
Oh yeah.
So especially from third year, it's called a medical student's disease, and especially when you do pathology,
Oh
and
yeah.
you're reading and you're thinking, oops.
Why have it?
And luckily, the doctors that are ahead of us would actually assure us you are not sick. Because you will go to them saying, I'm sick, I read about this, and I have everything about it. It's just like we are hearing about COVID, and you listen to the signs and symptoms, and you say, gosh,
I had
I
it.
think I have it.
I have it.
So, yeah, it's a medical students, and it was scary.
It is
it's
very
not boring, but scary.
It is very
so
scary.
every student that you see walking probably have, and I think that should be, the medical schools should know that they should have a counseling or a support department for those students, because they get sick in every subject they read.
I remember when we were in nursing school, a colleague was expectant. Every time you study, we were doing obs-gyna. Every time you study about congenital issue, oh, go to the ultrasound. Then after the ultrasound, you feel like the rays went in, so something has happened. The baby is not kick. I'm telling you, anytime you do medicine, you study a disease, you start relating with your headache. I have a tumor because the head is aching. It so happens.
Yeah.
Med school guys, you hear that? And medical student lecturers, please support these students. Please remember you were there one time you were in that class and you felt that way. You finished your med school.
Yeah.
Now let's go to internship.
Yes.
A year that has its own ups and downs.
I went to internship again out in the county, some area. And internship is a year that passes like that. Let me say that.
Before you open your eyes, it's done.
Lack of one. Because you are in, and the consultants are on you,
Wow.
and you are supposed to be doing things that you thought you're just, medical school, everybody is looking over your shoulder, you're a baby.
You're a baby.
Now you're left to do, and it is these calls after calls. It was such a hectic time. You'd go to your room, start cooking something, be called to the ward, and you leave your sufuria burning on the cooker, and you meet. By the time you're coming back, the sufuria is melted.
Imagine it has not changed. It has not changed. It's
That's
the
internship.
same. That's internship.
So out of internship, I learned if I see food in front of me, I eat because I don't know when the next meal will come. Because once you respond to that beep, you run to the ward.
Yeah. You don't
it
know
may be a night,
yeah.
it may be a night.
Yeah. But it doesn't change. In fact, even on practice, it so happens. You are on call. I've called you severally when I was covering the hospital.
Yeah.
There is an emergency in eye.
Yeah.
You still come.
I have learned. Before I come,
you eat.
I first support myself, then I support others.
It hasn't changed. If you're going to do medicine, that is the trick. Whatever you have in front of you, eat. It's not like in the office where we will say, let me eat, then go to the meeting. It is now, let's do it, then go to the next step. What was the most fulfilling thing during your internship?
I think the internship I realized, it's when you realize it's an ego getting new. So you realize, oh, I'm an ego. I can do a cesarean section completely and finish and see the product. I can treat somebody with this disease and see the product. And before you are tired, sometimes you feel relieved.
Is there someone who drops medicine at internship level?
No, one or two. Not because it's hard, because they have other interests. Somebody probably, like I said, went to do the medical school or not sure is what he wanted to do, and they realize, oh, I can do something else. Go to business. So I have no one.
Guys, you know that's why we are here. Don't find yourself in a career, especially in the year 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, which you will not do for life. Kindly. That's why we are teaching you about this medicine, so that when you get to your 18, you will make a very good informed choice. Right?
Yes, and firm.
And
Be
firm.
firm when you are making your choice.
Yes. Be very firm. I should have been firm. Yeah. But I'm firm now.
Yeah.
So now, let's talk about, you are now a medical officer. How long did you work as a medical officer?
That's after internship.
After
I worked
internship.
for 2 years, 94, 90. No, I did for 4 years.
4 years.
98.
Then something came up onto you. The engineering you had thought about started igniting something. How did you find yourself into ophthalmology and the journey to subspecialize?
Okay, even before subspecialty, I can tell you, okay, I found myself in medicine and I started enjoying medicine. And at one point I thought I couldn't have done anything else. Because now you find yourself in, you have mastered your subject, you know what you are doing, and you're getting satisfied. Then I landed into Kikuyu Hospital as an MO, medical officer.
Also, you didn't work for government?
After internship, not long.
Oh, okay.
I think a few months, then I came to
Then you
Kikuyu
came to
Hospital,
Kikuyu.
and I interacted with people who are doing. The Kikuyu Hospital was probably the unknown eye center in Kenya.
That's true.
So
Those
when
days.
I came here, I interacted with people who were doing ophthalmology, and that's when it struck me that, oh,
You
I
can do
think there's
this.
some,
You can do this.
yeah, I can do this. So among other choices that I would have, I chose to do ophthalmology.
What other choices were second option if you're not an ophthalmologist?
I was to go to surgery and not tell me which part of surgery.
Because you are not
If I was going to surgery, then after that I know what subspecialty I want to do in surgery.